Hi everyone. Now this one is a slightly difficult problem, but a great example for you to hone your skills on Excel. Plus we'll be learning how to use Lambda in Excel. So there's a lot to cover. Let's get started. What we want to do here is to combine the first and the last name, basically exclude the middle name, which means that we want to combine. If there is only the first name, we keep it as it is. And we want to create a reusable function so that the user doesn't have to write the formula every single time. Now, as you can see from the solution file, there is already a function created called combine first last name. If there is Craig, just the first name, it is as it is. If there is Justin Ritter, again as it is. But in case there is a middle name, like Aaron Rao Bergman, then it shows you Aaron Bergman. So what we want to do here is, I first want to show you a screenshot of the formula so that as I'm building the formula with you from scratch, you can follow along in a much easier manner. So let me go to Excel Labs and I'm going to copy the entire formula and we just keep it here in one of our cells, and let's take a screenshot. That would be easier. Yep, that's good. Perfect. Let's get started. Now, the first thing I want to do is to split using text split. So I want to split B3 as per the space. And as you can see, it gives me three paths: Aaron, Rao, and Bergman, like this. Now, what we want to do is to use a let function because this formula is going to be quite long. So I'm going to make it let, and then rather than saying text split B3, we want to give it a variable name. Let's call it name parts. And then the result will be name parts. You get the same answer. Now, the next thing I want to do is to count how many words are there. For that, we will create another variable called word count. And in this, we want to count all of my name parts and show the result as word count. So this helps me understand how many words are there. So we can verify 3, 2, 1, 4, and 2, which is correct. And then we need a conditional statement. So we say that if the word count is equal to 1, that means I want to show the name as it is, isn't it? So what we want to do here is I want to show my name, which is B3, as it is. Otherwise, we will take index, and from our name pass, we'll take 1, which basically means the first word, the first name. And to that, we will concatenate a space and then also concatenate index, name paths, and then we take the word count, which basically means the last word. So in the case of Justin Ritter, it would be 2. So that would be the last name. In the case of Aaron Rao Bergman, that will be 3, which is Bergman. And in the case of Catherine Rao Adam Murray, it will be 4, that is Murray. As you can see, my word count would always refer to the last word, which essentially is the last name. When I press enter, you can see that this works perfectly. Now, the only thing left for us to do is to convert this into a reusable formula. So what we're going to do here is to go to formulas and name manager. Now, as you can see, I already have a name that I have created called combine first last name. Let's delete that. And we want to convert this into a lambda. So we will say lambda. And then rather than selecting B3, which means that it becomes a fixed formula hard-coded to B3, we want to give a name, right? And rather than using P3, we will use the name. And here as well, we will use the name. Remember the name word, NAME, is just a placeholder. You could have written anything that you wanted. You could even have called it my name or an X if you wanted to. Now, right now, if I press enter, it will give you a calculation error. The reason is that it is not referring to any cell. Before you commit to it and you save it in the name manager, to test a lambda, you can just put B3, open and close another parentheses, and that way you can check that the answer is working. And once you are satisfied, I can copy the entire thing, go to formulas, name manager, go to new. We will create a new name called combine first last name and then simply paste the entire formula. If you want to give it a comment, you can do that as well. So we click on OK. And as you can see, now all I have to do is to say combine first last name. So we have created our own function. And all I have to do is to select the cell. And as you can see, it works perfectly. So there are two different learnings here. One was to be able to create the formula. And the other was to be able to convert that into a reusable function, which is a user-defined function done using Lambda.